I just, like I said, I feel just so incredibly bad for this poor girl, Celeste. I don't, it's one of those things where I cover a lot of cases. There's a lot of darkness, but this one is really dark.
Very dark.
I feel, lucky that I never, I obviously I was a teen at one point, my parents I thought were annoying, but
can you imagine if a singer who was 6 years older than you and worldwide and all your friends, and he's trying to talk to you and telling you he loves you and writing love songs? Any 13-year-old girl, again, even if she didn't start dating him, you would be screaming at your parents every night, I hate you, you ruined my life. So,
Yeah. And I mean, I think about her just walking down these huge streets in California by herself, without a backpack, and I'm like, this girl, like this poor girl. And then I led with like yelling at her family, and we all have to see how upset she was and how she just seemed to go through a lot in her short life. And she didn't deserve that. I mean, nobody deserves that, really. It's like, it's really bothering me. So I hope that somebody will be arrested soon and she can get justice, because again,
definitely. Last question before you go, just 1 minute, quick answer. A lot of people are talking about the Tesla and about the footage in the Tesla. I did a little research, and basically it's like how much storage you have. You talking to Steve, we're going to try to get you back more time. And also maybe even have Steve Fisher on. But from your case, because you've investigated this a lot, with the Tesla and the camera footage, what do you think are the odds that there is camera footage, and why or why not would there be?
I mean, I think that there would be camera footage at this point, because whoever did this is dumb enough to leave it in a car. I shouldn't say it. My God, sorry.
But I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Leave her in a car.
We're talking around the algorithm, you guys. So we're not being sensitive, but we don't want to get our channel banned. So
No, leave her in the car for that. I feel like, he had, or whoever did this had to have known. Were they smart enough to turn them off? Were they familiar with Teslas? Did this person even know that Teslas have 9 cameras? I mean, we don't know who we're talking about here. So, right? Like, I know my mom, for example, would have no idea that there's 9 cameras. She'd be like, whatever. But like, I don't know. So is he smart enough to turn them off? Is he smart enough to delete the footage? And again, I say I don't know. But we'll find out. I have to think that police are in possession of a lot of physical evidence now.
The one thing I want to know is, and the police will release it when they're ready, who had access to that car? Because at the end of the day, somebody put her in the car, but multiple people. But really, because the manager is saying it's not me. David, who did you give access to? Because that is a very, very short list. I don't know about you, but how many people truly have access to your car? Second question that when you're back, I'll ask you, or if you want to just comment really briefly.
No, I'm good. I can hear my kids outside. They're fine. There's no school today. There's never school. God.
So when you actually get to, thank you so much for staying a few more minutes. When you actually get to the Tesla information, she might have been dead for several weeks. That car was sitting there. Here's what I want to know. This is your car and it's registered in your name. When you were in LA prior to leaving on tour in August, what car were you driving? How were you getting around? Who had access to this? I mean, these type of things are just like, David, it's a small circle. And if you weren't driving that car, who was? And why weren't you driving the car registered to you?
Yeah, I mean, Josh Marshall actually said, as part of his denial, there are, and I'm paraphrasing, but he said something like there are many others that have way more of a day-to-day contact with David than I do. He did not list these people. I don't know who they are, but
wow. I love that.
But there are multiple cars that are attached, let's say, to that house. There was also a red Tesla that everybody said was registered to his manager, Josh Marshall. Josh came out and said, no, there's nothing registered to me in California. That's not my car. It turns out it was registered to management, plural. We don't know the names behind that. Somebody was seen driving, backing it out of the garage with boxes, like wearing a mask, probably on purpose. so the paparazzi wouldn't get them. But yeah, he's got an entourage. So I would think there's a lot of people.
Well, how would John Marshall know that? He barely talked to him. So how do you know who's around him on the day-to-day? It's like,
there you go.
Does my mom know who's around me on the day-to-day? We talk all the time. It's like, how would you know if you barely talk to this person on a day-to-day?
It's a tough situation because it's always hard when things appear to be one way and we think that everything points in this one direction. But sometimes I put myself in the position, of someone like Josh, who, like I said, I think he feels guilty. I don't necessarily know if he has any culpability, but I think, again, if he did see Celeste in passing and he just looked the other way, that would be where his guilt comes from. And I would hate, for his whole family to be blown up if he really did have, you know what I mean? Like, it's so tough. And I guess we all.
Here's the thing, though. I get what you're saying, and I'm not encouraging anyone to go harass this man because we don't know what happened. I am saying this. Yeah, I am saying this. If you truly didn't want to be involved, why are you in TikTok comments? See, here's the thing. David and his camp seem very, very savvy. They know how to move the needle. They know how to get narratives out. There's people in Discords, gang banging. No, David and Celeste were just friends. Even the whole Discord is like, bro, we saw the beginning of your romance in Fortnite. Stop playing, right? There are, or alleged romance. They have been in TikTok comments. They have been on Discords. They have been pushing the narrative that David's innocent to the people that matter. His fan base. His fan base is largely Gen X. So again, I'm not saying Josh Marshall, guilty, not guilty. I don't know. I am saying that everything here is just a little bit too clean. And the fact that we are living in an alternate universe where nothing makes sense, nothing adds up, but there's no evidence, but everybody can say it's not me. Again, with David, who was the last people around Celeste? Who did you have her around? The biggest thing of guilt with me, I thought, was whether he had something to do with it or not. If I found out while we were on live that somebody was found in my car trunk, my first thing would be like, oh my God, huh? And then to find out it was an ex. Wait, what? Even finding out somebody was in my car trunk, there was never any, what? Oh my God, what is going on? I hope the LAP gets to this. His silence has been the most damning thing, even before we knew who was in that car. It's almost as if he knew who was in the car and he was just hoping that she maybe couldn't be identified, because it seemed like a very expert move to wrap her in plastic, because that does help with the decomposition much, much quicker.
Yeah. And look, I think that if she was not a minor, it would be a different story. I think that if this was, a singer that was over 18, I think that David and his attorneys would probably put out some kind of statement, especially if they were seen together. If they were, if it was proven that they were friends, I think a statement would 100% come out. I think because she was, 12, 13, 14 when he knew her, he has been advised no statement at all. But going back to your point, Tisa, when you just said, oh, if there was a body found in my car, and I had nothing to do with it, people give others a lot of crap for lawyering up, when they are quote unquote innocent. But wouldn't you lawyer up immediately? Of course you would. If a body is found in your car,
But again, he's just now lawyering up from what we know. So it's kind of like 2-3 weeks. You have management. You're on Interscope. You are a business right now, not just a singer. People have a vested interest in making sure all the money they put into you doesn't go to waste. I'm saying the way he reacted, it doesn't make sense on anything. You didn't make a statement. You're just now lawyering up.
I agree with you. His silence, I think, is what is going, or what, not what, but it's going to really add to his career being destroyed, or his reputation, at least. I mean, it's like, say anything. You don't have to. I know that a fixer, a PR specialist could craft him one sentence. They could craft him one sentence, unless police, and police can't tell him what to do, but maybe police have also advised, like, hey, just, lay low, don't say anything until. But the fact that TMZ is all over this and we have not seen David once
Yes.
Where is he? What's he doing? Where is he? I know. It's so
Exactly.
crazy. It's crazy.
Again, we'll see. If he wasn't a suspect, I wonder if he was free to leave. Is he even in America anymore? If you're not a
Definitely,
suspect, you're free to move.
I do not think he left the country.
Why is that?
Wouldn't be, well, I think they advise you until everything is, kind of tied up with a bow. Don't leave the country, but I wouldn't be surprised if he was like in his parents' basement in Texas playing Fortnite right now. That would not surprise me. But again,
Good point.
with this case, I don't know anymore, Tisa. I don't know. And it's like the more that I talk about it, the more I'm just like, well, wait, that doesn't make sense either. I don't know. So,
well, listen, thanks so much for saying. I will say with this case, I know you're going to be following this to the end. I will too, because I don't think it just, even if it was an OD, I don't think that ends there. I think, like you said, a lot of people failed this little girl. A lot of people preyed on this little girl. A lot of people took advantage of this little girl. One does not, I used to volunteer with at-risk youth. One does not run away from home multiple times when, you have a mom that loves you and a dad that's saying you're the apple of his eye. It could happen, but it's usually something underneath. So I think a lot of people fail.
Sorry, go ahead. No, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I forgot one thing that Steve said to me yesterday that I did clip, and it's on the LA Magazine Twitter. It's on my YouTube under a short. Steve confirmed that Celeste was seen at parties in the Hollywood Hills in July of 2025 with David and with some of her, quote, siblings.
And some of her siblings.
Yes.
Now that is an exclusive. Well, it's on your channel, but
no, it's fine. I put it out yesterday, but this is the thing with me. Like, I didn't put it out as a headline. Because
Celeste was seen in July 2025 with David and her siblings. So that means that she passed away. It had to be sometime late July and August. Yes. It would have to be sometime after. Correct. Wow. Mm-hmm. So the siblings did he say who the siblings were? Was it a brother, sister?
He did, but he didn't want to out them. So
was it one, two? Was it more than one sibling?
I don't know. I mean, I have an idea, but I don't. The thing is, I think that like him keeping his sources so close to the vest, I don't want to pry, because I don't want to.
That's why he gets,
yeah. But I did think that was super important to the timeline here. So I can't believe I forgot to tell you guys that, but I can send you a link to the video. And I did attribute that with an article because it's just like it. Again, with, you don't want to blame the family at all, but you also have to point out that like her family, I've looked at them on Facebook, like they don't really speak a lot of English. I know it could be hard for them to sort of relay what they're trying to relay to police. Let's
be real. In this day and age in America, even trust the authorities because they could all be here legally and still get harassed, just even inviting them into the 100%. Home. So, I mean, we live in the real world. We have to talk about real world things. It's not even important whether they're legal anymore. It matters, will they be harassed? Is this bringing more? On top of that, they could be afraid that, well, we let her run away. But even then, I get the fact that multiple people failed her. And usually with child predators, they prey on people that don't have a strong family system or even people whose families are thumbs upping it and like delivering them to her. I'm not saying that's what happened with her family.
Totally.
Yeah.